Well, hello there. It's been a bit. It feels good to be out. So, I'm here at Bass's River Resort. I'm going to be here for 3 days and 2 nights. I've got the Courtois right here on the other side of my tent. I brought my fishing rod and some lures, and I may step out onto the water and fish later this evening. It's right around 5. Taking it easy. I've got sandwiches, chips, beer, cigars, a book. It's going to be a nice, relaxing trip. I'll spend 2 days floating and 2 nights camping. I'm looking forward to it. I've never been out here and been the only person in a huge area like this. That's wonderful. It's June 1st. I can't imagine what Memorial Day must have been like here. Well, we got up to 88 today. It was hot and muggy, and only down to 63 tonight, and we have no breeze. We haven't all day. So I'm going to sleep with both vestibules open, kind of one of the advantages of having the place to myself, actually, tonight. I like that, and we'll just see how it goes. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. I'll see you in the morning. Good night. Good morning. A little oatmeal and coffee, get my day started. I'm supposed to meet the bass people at 8:15 to get my kayak. And today I'm going to float from here at Bass down to Onondaga, about 13 miles. So that'll put me on the Courtois and the Huzzah and the Meramec today. I've never done this float. I'm really looking forward to it. The upper Courtois above Blunt's is closed. There are 3 big trees that got blown across the Courtois in a storm, and they haven't had a chance to clear it. So I'm not able to do that long Courtois float, but tomorrow I'm going to do the Blunt to Scotia, so that'll put me on the Courtois into the Huzzah again tomorrow, about 12 or 13 miles. Looking forward to it. We're supposed to have clear skies and no rain, but it's really looking like we have rain coming in. So we'll see how that goes. All right, here's my kayak, and we start by going under the bridge. How cool is that? We've had a lot of rain lately, so the current's pretty swift. Surprisingly, though, the water's still crystal clear, and it's pretty cold, too. This is going to be a great float. have a feeling with this current, this float's not going to take too long. It's 13 miles. Should take 6 hours. This is the end of Bass River Resort. That's a pretty good float if you're on a tube. Well, I'm running into a lot more sweepers on the lower Courtois than I expected. I may have to portage around this one. Well, I was able to flow through it. So far, I haven't, I think I dragged one time where I had to get out and pull the kayak, and that's been it. Looks like the buzzers thought I was going to go there. We get a little bit of everything on this creek. I thought I'd pull out, take a break, get a drink, check the time. Maybe lunchtime, I don't know. Starting to get hungry. I've only been on the water a couple hours, 11:15, so I think I'll wait for lunch. Maybe want to get on the Huzzah. We're coming up on the confluence with the Huzzah already. Here's the Scotia takeout. That's where we're going to take out on tomorrow's float. Oh no! Oh, that's low. I just passed that family and they had a huge cooler in a tube, and I realized what's missing today. Some cold beer. Whoa, 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 that's cold. All right, here goes. Oh man, that's cold. I don't think I can do it. Here goes. All right, that's enough. Not hot anymore. Oh man, whoa. That may be the confluence with the Meramec. I'm not really sure. That looks like the confluence with the Meramec. I'm not sure though. Certainly large. Yeah, we've got to be on the Meramec now. Well, I'm positive I'm on the Meramec now, which means I'm way ahead of schedule. So, regardless of what time it is, next gravel bar I find, it's time for lunch. So I've been paddling into a headwind all day, but when it really gets gusty, like it just did, it seems like I make zero progress, even with the help of the current. Boy, that wind, it didn't really impact me on the Courtois and the Huzzah, but you get on a big slow river like the Meramec, and it really does affect your paddling. It's work now. All right, just checked with some people here. I'm at Ozark Outdoors on the Meramec. It's by Onondaga State Park. I'm 2.5 hours early from my pickup. Man, I thought I was going slow. So I don't know if I have no cell reception here, so I really can't get in touch with bass. So I'm gonna leave their kayak here on the gravel bar and find Ozark Outdoor Store and buy in a cold beverage, I think, while I wait. Well, they only have Yingling in a 24 pack, so I guess that's what I'm buying while I wait. I feel kind of silly carrying this back to the river. Big old briefcase of beer. Oh well, it's a good time. So they called bass for me. I don't know how long it takes, but that was really nice. So at least I've got enough beer to keep me busy until they get here. This is crazy. Oh, they do the same thing. They'll drop you off at Bass, and then you just float back to your car here. So actually, if I was going to do this float again, I think that's the way I would do it. And this place looks really nice. I've never been here before, but it's on my list now. Well, I really don't mind the wait. Cheers. Look at all of these cooler carriers. I'm such a novice. Still so much to learn. Well, I'm back at camp, 2:30-ish. It's a really great day. Didn't take as long as I thought it would. Got to work on these Yinglings because I don't have any ice and really no room in that little bitty cooler I brought. I didn't plan for something like that. But Bob picked me up there at Ozark Outdoors and brought me back, and you talk about great service. He even drove me straight to my campsite, which was really great. So I tipped him a beer. So it's Tuesday, and I'm not the only one out here anymore. Looks like I'm going to have the fly closed tonight, which means it's going to be a little warm. Let me show you around. A lot of people. I'm kind of surprised. I thought I'd have it to myself again. You know, Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. Thought it would be mine. But only had 3 ticks so far, and I'm sure I got them here at camp. And I had one in a place I've never had a tick before, on the bottom of one of my toes. That was really a weird spot. But I have just had a great day so far. It's been wonderful. Now I'm just going to chill at camp for the rest of the day and then on to the next float tomorrow. So I'm sitting here in the shade next to the tent with a slight breeze. It's really pleasant. I can see some floaters coming by on the river every once in a while. And I'm just going to relax, have a cigar, drink some of that beer I bought at Ozark Outdoors. Got to do something with it. And read a little bit. Just enjoy a pleasant afternoon. Today was great. I had so much fun. And that's a float I've never done before. I would definitely do again. Good morning. Broke camp already, working on coffee and breakfast now. Then we'll head out for our float. Blunts to Scotia today, so we'll start on the Courtois and end on the Huzzah. Well, I'm sitting here waiting for my ride out to Blunts. And I knew I was going to get burned yesterday, so I brought a sun hoodie for today and a cap. And I was supposed to bring pants. I always forget something. They've got 250 boats here. It's set up for some weekends. Well, talking to the guys at Bass, I spent too much time paddling and just not enough time floating yesterday. So I'm going to kind of change it up today. Just kind of let the current take me most of the day and enjoy floating on the water. Hey, buddy. How you doing? You gonna follow me? All right, he's crossing the river, and there's a farm right up here. You can see the fence right here on the top of the bank. I'm really hoping that's that farmer's dog and not a stray. He looks well fed. Well, there is something to this kicking back and letting the current take you. It's really relaxing. What a beautiful day. There's this guy that came out with me on the ride out to Blunt's. He's going to float down to Bass, and he's going to spend all day doing it. He had 3 rods with him and got an aluminum canoe. He likes those because they're lighter and more responsive. That's a 6, maybe 7 mile float, and he's going to take all day to do it. What he does is sits in the pools and fishes. And he's caught quite a few 15 to 18 inch bass out here, keepers. And I was kind of surprised to hear it. I didn't expect fish big enough to keep in these waters. Otherwise, I would have brought a rod. So I'm thinking sometime in the future, a really slow float in a canoe with a rod's going to be a really good time. Sometimes these channels are really hard to read. Kind of want to go through the left one because there's a bend and it should be deeper, but the one on the right looks like it's carrying more water. It has fewer plants in it. Well, you never know till you try. All right, I grounded out, so looks like that would have happened on either one. But now that I could stand up, the one on the left is better, so I'm going to walk the kayak over to that. Now that I'm getting closer, there's a third option on the very left. That may be the one. No, we'll take the middle right here. Oh. None of those were good choices, really. Well, that's how it goes sometimes in these smaller creeks. But I only had to do that once yesterday, so that's really good for a 13-mile float. By the way, the float today I think is around 12 or 13 again. We put in about 6 or 7 miles upstream from Bass's this morning at the Blunt's Blunt's Road, and we'll take out at Scotia, which makes Bass the halfway point. So the second half of this float today will be some of the same that we did yesterday. Now what's funny is the Bass takeout put-in area is on Butts Road. So if we just float it from Blunt's to Bass's, that's Blunt's to Butts. I always thought that would be a great title for a video, from Blunt's to Butts, but everybody that clicked on it would go, what's up with this old guy in a kayak? That's not what I clicked on. Well, these deep pools are holding some pretty good sized bass. Also, I've seen quite a few suckers and gars. A lot of gars, actually. There's a walnut. Look, there's that same dog. I've gone pretty far, too. Now I'm kind of concerned. It doesn't have a collar on either. Yeah, he's kind of tracking me, but he's hiding in the bushes when he can. Alright, the dog just took off into the woods up there. It looks like maybe a path or a trail up there. It's kind of interesting. I wonder if he's going to run ahead and I'll see him again farther downriver. Yeah, there he is, up on that gravel bar. This dog definitely knows this area. My legs are really burning, so I thought I'd put my PFD over the top, get a little shade on them. I think it'll work. That was fun. Well, I think I need to get out, stretch my legs a little bit, walk around and get some water. There's a gravel bar up ahead. I think we're coming up on basses, which is roughly the halfway point of the trip. As we're at about the halfway point, I'm going to find a spot here at Bass's to pull out and have some lunch, check the time. It's kind of weird. I'm trying to find an angle where the sun's not blasting out the lens. All right, so it's 11:30, so 3 hours on the water. I'm at the halfway point roughly, and my pickup is in 3 hours from now at 2:30. So I'm right on the money so far. I'm going to have a PB&J, some chips, and get back on the water. Well, I just left Bass, and they have a sign there for the tubers to get out because it's the end of the resort, and they had a sign saying 6 miles to Scotia. Man, I'm ready for some of that slow stuff after that. Well, I need to stretch my legs. Check the time. Then we'll get back on the water. All right, it's almost 1:30, so I've got an hour. Problem is, I don't know how much farther I have to go. So I don't know if I need to pick up the speed or if I can relax. I'm thinking I'm pretty far from bass though, so I'm just going to kind of take it as it comes. And if they have to wait a little bit, that's I don't expect that they will. So when you see the tall bluffs on the lower Courtois on your left-hand side, you'll know that you're approaching the Ozark Trail crossing, and you're not that far from the Huzzah. All right, so here on the right is the Ozark Trail, that little cleared area coming through, and then you cross the river. I've only done this in the winter, and it's a lot lower in the winter. And you see that little gravel bar kind of trail that goes up to the base of the bluffs? That's the other end of the Ozark Trail. Now just down on the left, not far, 30, 40 feet, is Bat Cave. We probably won't be able to see it through the foliage this time of year. There's the blaze on the tree right here on the bluff side. Ouch. All right, it's straight back. I really doubt you can see it through the foliage. Is Bat Cave. If I remember the story right, in the 1800s, a guy was killed in that cave over a poker game. So if you walk this, it's the Courtois section of the Ozark Trail. You'll follow the base of this bluff till you get towards the end, and then you loop around and come back on the top of the bluff, and that'll be the Narrows between the Courtois and the Huzzah, the start of it. So I've only done the Courtois section of the Ozark Trail in the wintertime, and that crossing is usually, I'd say, knee-deep to mid-thigh, but I've heard stories of people that do this hike in the spring, and they get stuck on one side or the other of the river because it's flooded, and you cannot cross it safely. All right, we're entering the Huzzah right here, which means we're really close to Scotia. See the red van, that's Scotia. We're really close. Well, I got here about 10 minutes early, and been here 30 minutes, so they're late. I'm ready to get back to the car and head to that cheeseburger. All right, back at the car, it's cheeseburger time. Thanks for coming along. I hope you enjoyed it. See you on the next one.